All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about the most important metric in e-commerce. And if you think you know what it is, it's not your ROAS. If you think that's what it is, it's not your click rate on your emails, not your open rate, not your, I don't know what you guys are measuring. It's none of those. You're probably going to be surprised by what I'm talking about because you probably never thought of it before. I guess so. Most of you guys have never thought of this metric before, but you'll see, and it's going to be extremely interesting. Now, the promise I'm going to give you for this video is that I'm going to show you the exact a reason you're struggling with growing your ecom brand. I'm going to show you the exact solution you're going to apply to your ecom brand that's going to help you scale infinitely faster. Now, this is the old funnel you used to run for your ecom brand. I guess if you were even running your ecom brand in like 2020, 2021, around the lockdown time, right? So if you remember, what you could do around those times is just run shitloads of ads, get people to buy immediately, get a big ROAS, reinvest all that profit into new ads, into more ads, up the ad spend, right? And just run more ads, get more revenue, run even more ads, even more revenue, even more ads. And that was the name of the game. That was the flywheel effect. And it just snowballed. You got rich in like a year. That's it. Why this worked so well? Because people had so much money to spend. And it was like lockdown. Everyone was bored at home. What do you do? Let me spend some money on ecom brands, stimulus checks, all of that. People spend shitloads of money. You get rich. Super simple, right? Now, if you try to do the same thing nowadays, it's not going to work for two reasons. First of all, everyone has been burned before on ecom brands, for like buying stuff online. People order something, they never get it, or they order something and it turns out that it's not nearly as good as it sounds, right? Or it's like arrives broken or stuff like that, right? So everyone has been burned by buying stuff online before. And another problem you have is the fact that there's so much more competition nowadays because there's drop shipping. It changed the game completely. You can just get products from China, test the idea. If it works, you then build a brand. You start with literally no cost or really low cost, and it's just profitable from day one. So the problem with this funnel is the fact that you run ads, you get website visitors, but before they buy, they hit a wall of trust, and they never buy because they don't trust you enough, right? So the funnel of the idea of just getting ads, getting money, and reinvesting all of that into ads does not really work. And that's not to say that your ads are bad or your product is bad. It's not about your product or your ads. Your ads are clearly working since they're getting people to your website, and your product is probably good, right? You otherwise wouldn't be running your ecom brand for such a long time. The problem is that the fact that the rules of the game have changed, right? The people, the dynamic has changed. So you need to just adapt slightly, and you're going to be able to scale way faster. So this is the new funnel, right? If you manage to apply this funnel, this is the solution to your problem, you're going to scale way faster. So the idea is instead of running ads and getting website visitors and jumping straight to this step here, you're going to add a couple of steps in between. So you get paid ads, you run paid ads, you get website visitors to your website, right? Now, those visitors, you use a high converting pop-up form to convert into email subscribers. Now, when I say high converting pop-up form, that means that you're converting like at least 8%, but let's say like 10% ideally or more of people with your pop-up form, you're converting them into email subscribers, right? So if you get 50,000 visitors a month, you're converting 5,000 new subscribers. So you're adding 5,000 new subscribers to your list each month, right? Ideally, at least. Like if you're getting more than that, you're doing an amazing job. So you get email subscribers to your list, and with email marketing, you convince them to buy, right? So why does this work way better? I'm going to tell you in a minute. Just let me explain the funnel first. So you get them to buy for the first time. Then with more email marketing, you get them to buy more times, right? You get them to become repeat buyers. And then your lifetime value goes up, which makes your business way better, way more stable, way better cash flow, way more profit. And all of this gets you more revenue. And all that revenue, actually, this is wrong term here, not more revenue, more profit, because the revenue you get from ads is not the same revenue you get from email, because email is way cheaper than ads. It's way more profitable because with ads, you have ad spend, right? With email, you don't have ad spend. You're just targeting the people who already gave you the permission to contact them, right? They already gave you their email addresses, so you can just target them, email them, boom, they make a purchase, boom, all of that is just almost profit if we count out the gross margins you have with your products, right? So all of this profit that you're getting from email, which is way higher than the profit you would get from ads, you can reinvest into new ads, get even more website visitors, and then even more email subscribers, and then even more buyers, even more repeat buyers, and the game repeats itself. So it's super simple, as you can see, but it's it's unbelievably effective. For example, do you know the story about Grunts and Athletic Greens? So Athletic Greens, most of you guys probably know what it is. It's an ecom brand selling like greens supplements in form of a powder. And it took them like 9 years to get to 100 million a year, which is like 9 figures, right? And then Grunts, this is another brand that's selling green supplements in form of gummy bears, right? And it took them 2 years to get to the same point. Why? Because they had killer email marketing. Their email marketing is impeccable, right? So they managed to do the same thing in like 5 times less time, 4.5 to be exact, just because they managed to implement this funnel instead of focusing on this funnel. Now, don't get me wrong, Athletic Greens still have good email marketing, but it's not nearly as good as these guys' email marketing, right? So the rule of 7. The rule of 7 is a marketing principle that says that your potential customer needs to see your marketing message at least 7 times before they decide to buy. So you have two choices here. You either do it with the ads, right? You keep running ads, you get people to see the ad for the first time, you run retargeting ads, you run like 6 retargeting ads, 7 ads in total, and some people will buy. Fine, that's all right. But you have the choice number 2 here, which is email, which is a better choice. Why? Because you get them to see the ad for the first time. Maybe they see another retargeting ad to get to your website. But the goal is to get them to give you your email address, and then you can contact them again and again and again. It's super cheap. It costs literally pennies to send emails instead of hundreds and thousands of dollars to run ads, and you just get people to buy, right? Way more simple to get people to see 7 emails than 7 ads. Makes sense. So why is it actually so bad? You might think like, yeah, sure, we're doing fine with ads. We don't care. We're happy with our ads. Are you really happy with your ads? Let me show you something. So this is breakdown of the costs of ads over the past couple of years. So as you can see, let's compare. For example, December 2024, CPM almost $11. December 2022, CPM 7.41. So difference here, $3. $3 difference in CPM. January 2023, 6.21. 8.27 in 2025, $2 difference. So these are massive differences that you could literally save so much more money, and it would be way easier to get people to buy from email. So it's way easier to get people to buy, and it's way more profitable. So you're literally making infinitely more money if you implement email, right? Instead of ads as your conversion mechanism. Obviously, you're still going to get people to buy from ads. I'm not saying that most of your business is going to be dependent on email. I'm just saying that like 40 to 50% of your revenue should be coming from email, and that's going to be most of your profit, right? Because it's way more profitable. That's the idea. Now, what's good about email as well is the fact that ads, your ad account could get shut overnight, but email, like you own the list, right? So you can email them anytime you want. It's like yours. That's your asset. Ads are just, you're renting ads. You're using the platform, but if they decide to kick you out, to shut down your ad account, you're fucked, right? So what is KLT? This is the metric we're talking about. Basically, KLT isn't exactly a metric. I just wanted to call it a metric because we can talk about it like a metric, but it's not exactly a metric. You can't really open your Shopify dashboard or your ad account or your Klaviyo account and see, hey, my KLT is this and this, right? You can't do that. It's not really a metric specifically. It's more like a way of thinking. It's more like a mindset, more like a perspective to apply to your marketing. So basically, what KLT is. So KLT is an acronym I came up with, and it stands for know, like, and trust. Basically, KLT is a metric that measures how much someone knows, likes, and trusts your brand and you as a person, okay? So the more someone knows, likes, and trusts you, the more likely they're to buy. That's the basic math. So basically, the closer KLT is to 10 out of 10, let's say, the more likely someone is to buy from you. But there are certain nuances that I have to cover. For example, some people don't need to be at 10 out of 10 to buy, because some people are like more are more prone to taking risks. Like, for example, they don't need to trust you loads and they don't need to know you loads, because they're fine with taking a little bit more risks, and they're fine with buying when they're at like 7 out of 10 KLT. Some people need to be at 10 out of 10. They need to really like trust you and know you and like you and everything, but it's really easy to get them there. So it doesn't really require 20 emails and 15 ads and whatever for them to get to 10 out of 10 KLT. It just requires like 5 emails, for example. But at that point, they're really convinced that you're like really good and they really like your product and they trust you and everything, right? And some people will never reach 10 out of 10. They'll never reach like 5 out of 10, whatever you do. So they're never going to buy from you. But that's fine. That's the name of the game. You probably know that. You know that like 95% of people are never going to buy from you, and that's fine. You're focusing on the 5%. You're focusing on finding those 5% and moving them further down the funnel and increasing their KLT and getting them to buy. So, for example, when someone enters your website, they're at 2 out of 10 KLT, for example. And the goal of your email marketing and your advertising in general, but we're talking about email marketing this video specifically, is to have multiple touch points with them. So get to those 7, rule of 7, if you remember, get them to 7 touch points, for example, and increase their KLT to the point where they're ready to buy. Make sense? I hope so. So applying KLT. So now this might sound a little bit trivial when I say it, because you're going to be like, yeah, duh, obviously it makes sense. But if you actually think about like what I'm telling you, and if you actually apply it to your e-com brand, you're going to scale way faster. So what you need to do from now on is every time you're thinking about, you're developing some piece of advert or whatever you're doing when it comes to advertising, what you need to do is ask yourself the following question. So is this going to make people know, like, and or trust me and my brand more? This is it. It's super simple, right? It makes so much sense, but people kind of like forget to ask themselves this question, or they're just like too lazy. They develop some ad that's more like brand awareness, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't get people closer to sale. Like, is this going to make person more likely to buy from me? So is this going to, and how do we make person more likely to buy from you? Well, we make them know, like, and or trust you more, right? It doesn't have to be like that. Not every ad has to make people know, like, and trust you more. It just has to be one of these, ideally more, right? If you make an ad that makes people know, like, and trust you more, it's better than making an ad that just makes people know you more, right? But it doesn't have to be this in every ad. So if the answer to this question is yes, it's going to make people know, like, or trust you more, it's a good ad. Now, obviously, this is just level one. This is just breaking things down into first principles thinking, right? But the idea is to ask yourself this question before every ad. Now, the game is to obviously compare all different kinds of ads you could run with your limited budget, because you have a limited budget, right? If you had an unlimited budget, you run all ads that you could think of, but you think of like 15 different ads and angles and hooks, and you need to come up with 1 or 2 or 3 variations that you can afford to run. And you apply this mindset, this perspective to those ads to rule out the good ones from the bad ones, right? And also, what's part of the game is also comparing your ads to your competitors' ads, right? Because it doesn't really matter if you think your ad is good. What matters is how your ad compares to your competitors' ads. So if your ad is like really good, it's amazing, but your competitor has an unbelievably good ad, it doesn't really matter because he's going to beat you. If your ad is like 9 out of 10, it's really good, right? But if his ad is 10 out of 10, you're going to lose. So what really matters is that you decide what ads you're going to run with your limited budget compared to your competitors' ads. So if they compare well, it's going to be good. So from now on, I want you to just ask yourself this question, because I believe it will make it way simpler for you to make decisions around your advertising. Because the more we can simplify problems, the better decisions we can make. So we simplify the problem. The problem is just, is this ad going to make people know, like, and trust me more, and trust me and my brand more, right? Super simple stuff. Now, leveraging personal brand. I'm not really a big personal brand expert and any of that. My area of expertise is email marketing for e-commerce brands. But I just want you to present you this solution as well. So KLT doesn't only apply to your e-com brand. It also applies to you as a founder, so your personal brand. So one of the ways people scale their e-com brands is by leveraging their personal brand. So you can see examples like Kylie Jenner, Mr. Beast, Kourtney Kardashian. So they all had massive personal brands, and they all launched their physical products, their e-com brands. Like Kylie has like Kylie Cosmetics, and Mr. Beast has like Feastables or something like that. So like all those chocolates and choco bars, candy bars, all that stuff. Kourtney Kardashian has Lemme. So they all have personal brands, but they're leveraging their personal brand to launch an e-com brand and sell it using their personal brand instead of like paid ads and all of that. The reason it works so well is because it's cheap. That's the whole idea. That's why email marketing is so important nowadays, because you could potentially, like theoretically, you could get people to buy from your ads. It's not about, as I said, it's not about that the ads are not working. It's just about the fact that they're so expensive and it takes so much touch points to get people to actually know, like, and trust you enough to buy from you. So if you manage to do it in a cheap way, like email, or in this case, personal brand, then you can scale because you have enough excess profit to reinvest into ads, get awareness, and then funnel that down into the email marketing funnel, or you use just personal brand to do the whole selling, right? So the 2 cheapest forms of customer acquisition are email marketing and personal brand. So email marketing, we have a quantifiable metric. So it says that for every dollar, you get around $44 out. So for every dollar you put into email marketing, you get 44 out. So basically it's a 44x return on investment. So it's a great investment. As you can see, for personal brand, I don't think we have that kind of a metric, but it's really cheap, right? It's just like you're recording some YouTube videos and some TikToks and like tweeting and stuff like that. So you need to have at least one, but ideally both, like Kourtney, for example. So Kourtney with her brand Lemme, she has an amazing email marketing. She's running ads, all that, and she's leveraging her personal brand. So it's like on steroids. She's like killing it, right? So basically you ask yourself the question, does this increase the KLT of my customers? So when it comes to the content you post online, basically when I say this question and the question we had here, so is it going to make people know, like, and trust you more, me or my brand more? It doesn't apply only to your ads. When I say ads, I mean everything when it comes to advertising. I mean, apply this question to your Google ads, Facebook ads, or Meta ads, right? Your emails, your YouTube videos, your TikTok videos, your Instagram reels, your Instagram posts, your tweets, whatever kind of advertising you use, you can apply this question, right? This is the core of your marketing. Like, this is the question, this is the filter you run your marketing through. If it doesn't fulfill this requirement, if it doesn't increase the likelihood someone buys from you by increasing their KLT, it doesn't get published. It's not an ad worth doing, right? So KLT in email marketing, let me break it down for you because that's my area of expertise. Basically, as always, you get people to your website by running paid ads. As we already talked about, you can do that by having a massive personal brand, but we're going to stick to the conventional path. So because even if you have a massive personal brand, it still makes sense to run ads, because why not, right? So you get people to your website by running ads. you convert them with a high converting pop-up form into email subscribers. And this is the game. This is where the game starts with email marketing. So they become a part of your list, and now they enter your welcome flow. Now they get their welcome flow. Boom, they click on one of the emails. They come to your website, but they abandon it immediately. They just leave the website without doing anything. And then they enter the site abandonment flow. So they get site abandonment email. Okay, they decide to click it. Boom, they come to your website. They view a specific product. They click on it. Go to a specific product page, right? They look at the product, but they don't do anything. They leave the website again, and boom, they enter the browse abandonment flow. So this is a more high intent flow. We're going further down the funnel here. Okay, so browse abandonment flow. They receive an email. They decide to get back to their product they were browsing, and they decide to add it to cart, right? They add it to cart, but they just leave the website. Maybe it's a mom and and her kids distracted her, whatever. She leaves the website. She doesn't buy. She receives an abandoned cart email now. Boom, abandoned cart email. She clicks the email, and she goes back to the cart page. She decides to go and check out. And boom, her kids again are being annoying. She has to give them something to eat or whatever. She doesn't buy again. Abandoned checkout email. It's like, hey, you forgot to check out. We've saved your cart. Boom, proceed to the checkout page. She checks out, first purchase. Then she receives the post-purchase email and she buys again. She's now officially a repeat buyer, right? Her LTV has gone up than the usual buyer, and you made more money. So as you can see, obviously the way I presented it is not like that. It's not like it happens. The whole funnel happens is like in an hour. She receives all of these emails and then she buys suddenly in an hour. Like, you're not annoying people. Obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is what it looks like when someone goes through the funnel from the beginning to an end. Some people might go welcome flow, jump to the abandoned checkout immediately. They receive an email and they never buy it. Some people, boom, welcome flow, abandoned cart. They receive that email and then they buy. Some people will get to browse abandonment flow and they will buy, but they will never become repeat buyers, right? That's what it looks like in reality. I just wanted to walk you through the examples through the funnel step by step. Sorry. So the further you go down the funnel, the KLT goes up because this step is way more high intent, way closer to the first purchase, right? Than this one, which means that someone has to trust you and know you and like you way more than someone who is at this step, at site abandonment step, right? So it makes sense that what I'm saying. So how to leverage this? So basically, in order to leverage KLT in email marketing, you need to do two things. So first of all, set up high quality flows around every single point in your customer journey. So that means like welcome flow, site abandonment flow, browse abandonment flow, abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, post-purchase, and win back. So I forgot to include win back in this graphic, but it's the same thing as post-purchase. This is just post-purchase is going to fire immediately after someone buys. Win back is going to fire like 3 months or 6 months after someone buys something from you to get them to buy again. But all of these are like post-purchase flows, and the goal of these two flows is just to get people to buy again. The goal of these flows is to get people to buy for the first time. Make sense? Sure. So that's the step one. And the next thing you need to do is send 3 to 4 educational, value-providing, high-quality campaigns a week. So every single week, 3 to 4 campaigns. If you're thinking like, oh my God, that's too much, I'm going to spam people are going to unsubscribe. So if you're, for example, you're sending like 1 email a week or like 1 email every 2 weeks, yes, if you start doing this, people are going to unsubscribe, but only, for example, for the first week. After that, your unsubscribe rate is going to stabilize because the people who unsubscribe are the people who don't really want to be on your list that much. But you don't care about those people. You care about people who actually want your emails, because those are the people who are going to buy in the end. You're not here to entertain people, to, I don't know what to do, like deliver people content for no reason. You're here to run your business, to sell stuff, and to get rich, right? Or not get rich, but just run your business, make money with it, because this is not a charity. So you get people who want to be on your list. You get more people through your pop-up forms, so don't worry. And those people who want to be on your list are going to read those 3 to 4 emails a week. They're going to get educated. They're going to see some value from you, and they're going to buy in the end. So if you want to start taking your email marketing seriously, if I convince you that it's a really good decision for you, because it really is, first link in the description is your free email marketing guide. So you can just go to the first link in the description, get your email marketing guide, and learn shitloads about email marketing that you can apply to your brand today, right? Second link in the description is my calendar link, so you can book a call with me. I'll perform a full Klaviyo account audit completely for free. So I'm going to tell you what you're doing good, what you're doing bad. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to improve on. I'm going to give you the exact roadmap to like scale your email marketing that will allow you to scale your brand further down the line. And if we see we're a good fit, we can actually work together on scaling your email marketing and scaling the shit out of your brand. If we don't see we're a good fit, no hard feelings. You just got a roadmap, a full roadmap for scaling your e-com brand. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.